Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Honor and Blood with my co-host and friend, Mikey B, the great Mike Bruschetti. Hello, Michael. How are you?
I'm pretty good, Joe. What about yourself?
I'm doing outstanding. And I started to get everything ready for tonight's show, and then I had to go pick up some medicine, and I lost the ticket to get out of the parking garage. I was there for like about 7-8 minutes, and they tried to
Oh
charge me
no.
$30 to get out of it because I lost the ticket. So I'm not going to put up a bureaucracy and let these corporations take $30 from me for 6 minutes. So I stood there and held my
Of
ground,
course.
and
Of course not.
the police came and got me out of there because I'm not going to put up.
Oh
If
God.
you give in to these people, this is what my whole presidency is about: fighting for the small people, fighting for what I believe in. And I didn't give in to them so they can steal. What if it's somebody's grandmother and they're going down there and she loses a ticket? She's old, 80 years old. She panics. They argue with her, and she has a heart attack in the car. They cause the woman to die. You
I'm
know
sure it's happened in the past. It could have definitely
exactly.
happened. It's
So
horrible.
we have to fight the small fight. To win the war, you
Of,
got to win the battles. You got to win the battles.
of course, because first of all, everything is money today. People want to
That's
take it
correct.
out of the hide out of us,
That's very
no
correct.
matter where we are.
We
I
got a great
mean,
show tonight, Mike. You want to give them a little bit of what we're gonna do? I guess we'll do
well,
the movie portion first, and then we'll
okay.
talk about.
I just wanted to talk to you a little before we go into the movie. Is that okay? See
You
what's
do
going
it.
on
We're gonna
because
do it whatever way you want to go, Mike. Just go ahead. You go ahead and take the
okay,
floor.
okay. Joe, what do you call it? You're super blessed to be in Florida now. The East Coast is going to be bombarded with a freaking major snowstorm now.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, Joe, but the thing is, you grew up for a good portion of your life in Chicago, so you know
Yes,
what
I
cold
do.
winters and hot summers are.
Yes, I
I
grew
mean,
up in
Joe, I heard it snowed in Jacksonville, Florida, once in a while.
Alabama border. If it gets frost up in those areas, they have potentially have had snow. Nothing major, but yes, they get some cold nights up there, and they
Oh,
can
have
get
it.
snow. Yeah, you can't hear me. Hello, are you gonna hear me now, Mike? Hello, hello, hello. Lost the sound. All right, let's see. Let's see. Mike, can you hear me now? Mike, can you hear me now? No. Hang on. Let me see. Let me go back out and in. Hang on. I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, okay.
You hear me now?
Yeah, definitely. Because
Okay.
Joe, I heard it snowed in Jacksonville, Florida, but I also heard that part of Florida is very close to the north.
Well, it's right on the Georgia border. On 95, Jacksonville's on 95 side of Florida, which is on the Miami side on the huh right there. Um, so you cross into Georgia just out of Jacksonville. Now the Panhandle, which is the Alabama border, so that's closer to Alabama, and it more likely gets more. It'll get snow up in the Panhandle most most definitely when it gets really cold and snow blizzards hitting up in the north. Panhandle is definitely probably got a potential to get it. Jacksonville can get it, but it's a rarity. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy because Joe, I never thought of that before. When you think of Georgia, I think of sweating hot summers. I never knew it would snow over there. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's far too in between. Why is my wife calling me? Why are you calling my phone? Hang on, I don't know why my wife's calling me. Hang on. Hello?
Okay.
Why are you calling me? I don't think she realized she dialed me. That was a
Oh,
mistake.
that happens to my
Yeah,
families
I'm
all
gonna
the
put that
time
do
too.
not
Because
disturb. Okay. Anyhow,
how was our chief commander in chief show the other day, Brennan?
oh, he was pretty funny last night. He had M Mike Kill Everything. I mean, Mr. Kill Everything on there with Karmic, who he hates Karmic, and Mr. Kill Everything had me on his show last week, and he just don't like Karmic, and Karmic kind of attacked Chad Zumach. If you want to be on his bandwagon, he told me, he goes, fuck you too. You know,
Oh no,
and Karmic
see,
was just
I don't get involved in the politics. I don't know.
me
Joe, I
either.
don't know a lot of these people. I just try to get through life without being unscratched. You know.
Now I know that he started on my boy Chad Zumach. I did Chad's show yesterday. Chad had
Oh,
us on there,
nice.
me and Clearwater Chad. We're on there about talking about the campaign, and he let us roll with it, and we had a good time with Chad. I like Chad Zumach. He lives very
Oh,
close
me
to
too.
me.
Because
He's 10 minutes from my
Joe.
house, and
Oh, are you close to him?
10 minutes apart.
Oh, that's really close. You guys
Yeah.
can
So
hang. That's really good because
yeah.
Joe, a couple of things I want to ask you that we never got to cover last week, and I want to share a quick few things with you. One question, two questions I'm going to ask you, right?
Okay.
Okay. And in the movie Goodfellas, right?
Right.
Did Tommy's mom know he was connected?
Did she know? I
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say 50-50 chance she did. I imagine she probably did. Do you think she did
I
in
would
real
say,
life?
part of it, she seemed like well, first of all, she'd have to be living in the cave if she didn't know, because
Yeah,
here's why,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Look at Henry Hill's wedding, right?
Right.
Surrounded by gangsters over there. I mean,
Right.
those guys, you look at them, right? And she was Italian. She knew to deal with them.
Yeah.
Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, right? And not only that, when he thinks he's going to be made, she
Yeah.
kisses him and said, "Good luck and be careful." I mean,
Yeah.
that's a dead giveaway, right?
Yeah, that is a dead giveaway. But
Oh,
and now in the movie, that was Martin Scorsese's mother that played
she was
the
awesome.
mother. Yeah, she plays in a lot of his
She was
movies.
great.
Yeah, she's a great. I like her. She's a pretty funny lady.
And his dad played the guy that walked Joe Pesci to his death.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vinny, he goes, you know what's funny? That scene, he's breaking his balls. Remember, he goes, "Hey, Pete, when you made when Pike's Peak was a pimple, right?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "A long time ago, right?" And then, so you know it's really crazy, right, Joe?
Yeah.
And after they killed Pesci, Pete goes like this, and that's that.
That's
I'm
that.
like, whoa.
That's that. Yeah.
How
The
could
whole-
Joe? That's like the Italian "fuck you." Am I right or wrong? When he goes, and
Well,
that's
it
that.
is. It is. That's the kid tell you fuck you, or like if they grab you by the face and they give you the kiss on the lips, that's you better go run somewhere because they're disowning you
Absolutely.
at that point.
I know, and it's like, oh, another thing, Joe. One quick
Uh-huh.
thing about the Sopranos. This is what's very now. This I don't know how this would have turned out in real life, right?
Yeah.
When Tony's sister killed Richie Aprile, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And he came in the house to cover it up.
Yeah.
That's very tricky if he wanted, because first of all, Richie was a made guy in forever, right?
Correct.
And she was a civilian, number one, right?
That's right.
Even
though she was a
Tony's
sister of a boss, she still was a civilian.
she was still a civilian. I think in real life, Joe, some heads would have rolled.
Well, I don't know if I'm not going to mention names, but if we get this guest that comes on for a few minutes, we're going to ask him that question.
Oh, nice.
If he can, I don't know. He did last night. I was going to have him on, and he was his night out with his wife, and I didn't text him till about 20 minutes ago, so I don't know. But I sent him a link. He did say he's going to get on with us one of these days, and hopefully he pops on tonight.
Because
I like to talk with him.
And Joe, what do you call it? Actually, I had a couple of run-ins with the Sopranos in real life. Most of them were good.
Right.
I met Bob Finaro, who played Eugene, the character that hung himself.
Right.
Oh,
the guy that hung himself. Yeah, the guy that hung himself because Tony wouldn't let him out. He wouldn't let him retire.
He's a longtime friend. I know him for 30.
The actual real guy that he played the part he played, or that actor, you know.
Yeah, he's my acting teacher. He was a great friend.
Oh, he was an acting teacher, that guy, huh?
Yeah, as well. He's really good. He's intense and another thing, you know who I got to work with for a very short time? We did a gig in Jersey years ago with comedy and music.
Right.
With Uncle Junior, Dominic Chinese. He sang it off.
Oh, Dominic Chinese. He sings, he plays the instrument and sings like opera real well.
Oh, he was awesome because his son, Dominic Jr., who I'm friends with, was on the show with us, right? And the father came, and I met the father. And listen to what a gentleman he was, Joe, right? The crowd was giving me a hard time. Sometimes I'll struggle up there, right?
Right.
You know what he said? "Fuck him. I think you're hilarious." And he goes, "You have heart. That's all that matters. You shouldn't give a shit what anybody thinks."
Heart goes a long way with a lot of with good people. I know one thing. It goes a long way with my book, because someone with heart, you got to be around a guy like that. Someone that's not afraid for anything, and that's the whole thing about life. It's don't be afraid. Don't be a yellow belly. Don't be a chicken shit.
And Joe, one more thing before we start a movie thing.
Sure.
I had a little bit of a run-in with Paulie Walnuts in real life.
The real guy.
Yeah, because that nasty guy he played in TV was that same guy in real life.
Well, he was a connected guy, and he was in the life, but not too deep, but he was in it. He was a soldier.
Here's what happened, right? This is like 20 years ago.
Right.
A mutual friend of mine and his had a comedy club in Brooklyn. I knew for years, right? I was performing on stage. Walnuts walked in with a couple of the other Sopranos. I think he came in with Bobby Bacala, a few other people. I'm on stage, and Walnut starts heckling me.
Oh,
right. So, idiot that I am, I stood up to him. I don't care. I don't care if I get the shit pounded, if I get in the fight.
Right.
I'm not putting up with nonsense from anybody. You know what I mean? Right? I don't care.
Yeah.
And the guy that played Bobby Bacala diffused it. You know what I mean? Right? He chilled him out.
Yeah.
And my friend was the owner. I said, I feel like putting a dent in that fucking imbecile's head. That's right. I told him he was such an idiot. You know what the owner said? Oh, no, he's a psycho. I go, I don't care if I got my butt kicked in from an idiot.
Right.
He's a moron.
What you believe in. You don't go. And I think that as a comic, that's just most comics don't like to be heckled. You got to draw a line and be respectful at some point. Just like some of them don't like you going in there taping them. You know.
No, because but Shripper, who played Bobby Bacala, diffused it. He was a total gentleman.
Well, you told me Bobby Bacala, the guy that played him in real life. He worked at the Riviera Hotel in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, he
was a manager, either a casino manager or the restaurant manager.
Yeah, he booked entertainment for years.
Oh yeah, he booked entertainment. That's right. He was in the casino. He was in the casino side. Booked entertainment. Now I watched this podcast a lot. Go ahead.
He's not an idiot because he worked there in the '80s, right?
Yes.
So I'm sure.
Yeah.
Maybe Bacala came across Spilotro. He probably did. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, I'm sure he did. I mean, by 1980, I mean, Tony in the early '70s, he was banned. He was in the book. There's only two guys in that whole book in the gambling book in Las Vegas that are barred from the casino. That as far as Al Capone and him. That's up until, and I don't know if up in the last 20 years if there's been any more added there, but up to in the early '80s, he was one of the two people that were in that book that were a lifetime ban from the casino. He couldn't even walk through the casinos. You know, he couldn't. He had to do all his business outside. That's when he got the business. He got the Leaning Tower of Pizza was the actual restaurant name that his brother Michael had in Las Vegas, and he had the Gold Rush pawn shop and jewelry store. That was his. That's where he did. That's where he did a lot of business at. Because they had everybody paid off in those hotels that would let them know if higher rollers come in and put stuff in the safes in the room, and they would let them know when the people were leaving. I mean, that was all the real deal of how those guys were. But
Joe, I was watching documentaries about him, and he talked a little bit in different ones, right?
Yeah.
I know he was a stone cold killer, but he seemed like he wasn't a bad guy if you wouldn't cross him.
None of them were a bad guy, Mike. They were all had a great side to them. None of them, at least the Chicago guys, were. You could hang out with those guys and say, man, but they were such a psychopath and those guys could be at home with they're always good fathers and good husbands. I mean, most of them, you know what I'm saying? And they would be family orientated, but then they could just pick up and go and go to work. They'll say they'll be back, go out and kill 3 people, come back like nothing happened. They were just sociopaths that they separated that very well. And some of them were just straight guys that weren't earners, and they were just degenerate gamblers, and they were always in trouble, always had to pay, they were always trying to catch up, worrying about they're going to get clipped, and there was the guys that were the muscle. I mean, as far as Las Vegas hit, I don't think they ever expected a guy like Tony Spilotro, because he was the muscle. He was all the muscle they ever had there. And he didn't play around.
No,
but he got greedy. He got greedy at the end. You know, that's what happened. And he wanted to screw around with someone's wife, and that's his other mistake. So, you know.
Oh, that's a death sentence to those guys.
He was only 5'5", and he would stand up to anybody. He didn't care how big they were. You know that 5'5", he was just.
I know that's seen in the movie when you stabbed the guy at the pen.
That really happened in real life. Frank Collada put most of that stuff in. Told them to put that in. That was a real scene that he really did in real life, and that was I believe it was at a Chicago
Frank
bar.
Collada seemed like a cool guy.
Frank Collada was a good guy. He was a good man. He was a good man. He got sick during the pandemic.
Collada was saying.
Huh?
He had a TV show. I mean, a show like us.
Yeah, Coffee with Collada. Yeah, but he did tours. He went, after he got out of the Witness Protection Program, he stayed in Vegas and he did tours. He had a Cadillac and he had a driver, and he would go drive. People would book him, and he would take them to actual spots where the Hole in the Wall gang did their jobs, and he had a big history because that man terrorized Las Vegas with the Hole in the Wall gang. So it was rough because Tony became pretty whacked out on drugs, and and doing what he did to Lefty Rosenthal's wife, sleeping with her, and it became a mess. It became an embarrassment. Even he was expendable. One thing I learned, that the guys that were the loudest in there, even if they did a good service, if they were a butt man and they was the go-to guy to do all, even them. Well, we know this by example because of the guy from New York, the crazy guy, the guy you talk about. What's his name? The butcher. What's his name? DeMail. He was well used for service, but Paul Castellano, he got too risky when the indictments came down because he was just a wild animal. So they had to kill that whole crew.
Not only that, Paul might have had in the back of his head, he may come after him one day.
That's right. There was a question that someone asked me. Was this a question? Remember the scene where in real life, I think we talked about it last week, when Henry Hill went to go in the movie, they made it look like he went to see Paulie in the kitchen. Paulie handed $3,200 and said, "This is the last." That didn't happen. Karen went to his wife. Yeah.
Wow.
She went.
That reminds me. I was going to ask you one quick question because
Sure.
I'm dying to start the movies. I know you did a lot of work on this, so it's going to be awesome because when Karen goes to see Jimmy Red Burke,
right,
and she's going to get the dresses. You think he was going to whack her?
Well, you're the one that asked me that question. That's right. I don't think he was going to hurt her. I don't think so. I think that she got that impression because she was always tuned up on drugs and she was paranoid when she went there, and she already knew that her husband was in big trouble. But there's a fact that the movie Goodfellas did praise Henry Hill a lot. But if you listen to some other guys that have podcasts that were in the life, Henry Hill was not as big as they made him out to be.
No,
he was nothing even close to being that guy. He had a lot of friends in the mob, but he wasn't involved as deep as they made him in that movie.
No, because somebody said, Joe, it's funny you mentioned that. Somebody said Bobby Finn never sent him champagne.
Yeah.
He said, like, movie stars never sent him champagne to his table.
Yeah. I mean,
they probably sent it to the big guys.
Yeah, the big guys. The big hit, like look at what's his name. Who was a psycho in the mob? Albert Anastasia. He was crazy. He's just a wild. He was a boss, and they clipped him because Genovese, who do you know Genovese grew up with Frank Costello. They were friends. They grew up since little boys, 9 years old, on the streets.
Wow.
And then and he tried to clip his own best friend. You know what I'm saying? And thank God that Vinny the Chin was a bad shot because he glazed Costello's hat, which was enough to scare Costello into retirement. But I wanted to do. There's one thing I want to get in one of these weeks. I want to talk about Gianni Russi. I want to show. We've got to show Gianni Russi, the guy that played in The Godfather. He played Carlo. And we already told the people about in the scene where Sonny beats him for hitting his sister. He gave him a real beating and really broke his ribs.
Oh yeah,
because Francis Ford Coppola told him to do it because he tried to he insulted and was very disrespectful to Francis Ford Coppola's sister, who was a star in that movie, which was Connie. Talia Shire is Francis Ford Coppola's biological full-blooded sister, but she changed her name in the acting world to take the Coppola name. And also, do you know who else is a Coppola? Do you know who else, a big actor in Hollywood?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. I know who it is, but you can say it.
Go ahead, say it.
Nicolas Cage.
That's correct. He's the son of, I believe, the son of her, isn't he? Is that Talia Shire's son, or is that really Francis Ford Coppola's son?
I think it's Coppola. I think Coppola was his uncle.
His uncle. That's right. So it was one of their brothers that were not in the life, so that were not in the movie business. So yeah, Nicolas Cage is part of the Coppola family. He comes from a long line of very much talent, and he changed his name to Nicolas Cage. And his name was Nicholas Coppola. That was his real name when his birthday.
You know what sucks about him? I love him acting wise, but I'm sure some industry people gave him a hard time because of his name. You know what I mean? They probably dragged him through the mud. Then other people kissed his ass, I'm sure. It's double-edged sword with those people.
That's true. There's always listen, it is a double-edged sword. Someone had said that to me about how there's Joey C lived on a double-edged blade again. And I've always lived my life on a double-edged sword. That's one of my problems. I've always lived like that. And sometimes it works to your advantage, but sometimes it could be your demise too. And a lot of those guys
blow up in our face.
It could blow up in your face, and it has blown up in my face. Not so much where it would lead to death, but those mob guys that played that double-edged sword, you know, guys got kept around if they were earner. If you were earner, it was pretty tough to get rid of a guy that was earner. Not saying they wouldn't. A guy like Michael Franchese, he gave them $2 to $3 million week in and week out, kicked upstairs. You got to be insane if you're going to wipe a guy out like that, giving you that kind of money. You know, he pretty much wrote his own
never
ticket.
Touch him like that, right? Because he said that on his show. I was watching Michael on his podcast. He was saying that in his the whole family, he goes, there are about 20 guys who were major earners that were super smart, right?
That's correct.
He said
the
rest
was very
of them
smart.
really didn't know how to make money, but they sent them out for the dirty work.
Out of 150 people, he said that. 30 or 40 people were actual earners, and the rest were just degenerate gamblers that got by. And they were always owed, and they were paying. And they charged their own guys, their own soldiers a VIG. They had to pay the VIG too. You know, so
of course, because you know what. That's the misconception a lot of people have, like especially young kids that are drawn in by the life.
Right.
They think, oh, you're going to be a millionaire. Oh, no, not by any means. Not everybody.
There wasn't many millionaires in that life. There was only a handful that actually made a lot. Al Capone was one of them. He made a lot of money. Michael Franchese was on the top 50 list. Carlo Gambino was on the top 50 list.
You know what I mean, right? They were the millionaires.
Yeah, they were the guys that really
like Joe Mazza. Joe Mazzarino and Maranzano. Those were
Joe Maranzano, the old mustache Pete. That's right. Yep. Yeah.
Those are millionaires.
I mean, you and in Chicago, you had crazy Sam DiStefano. He was crazier than he was.
He was psycho, right?
Psycho. They thought Sam Giancana was like crazy Sam DiStefano was probably the wackiest one of all in Chicago. That man he didn't care. He killed his own brother. You know that? Murdered his own brother. Not too many guys will go murder their own brother.
No, but I heard about Mad Sam that, number one.
Mad Sam.
He would go to courtrooms and act like a lunatic. And also, he loved torturing people.
Yes. And you know, there was a few guys like that in both sides, New York, Chicago. You had down here in Tampa. We had one boss down here in Tampa for ran this whole place, all Florida by himself. Santo Trafficante. You had the guy in New Orleans, Carlos Marcello, ran New Orleans by himself, and then you have Jack Wagner out in California, who they went out. The New York guys went out there and tried to take a piece. They actually tried to take over his whole operation with Benny Siegel, and but he was a loner out there too. And of course, you had Mad Cole out there. You had Mad Cole out there. He was the guy that was robbing from all those guys, you know. And
he's a real crazy guy.
He was crazy too, but. Most of those guys, if they got a valuable service, they were kept as long as until they got way out of control with embarrassment, and even then they'll make it. Because let me tell you something: a guy like Tony Accardo, who never got arrested, who took himself off the top of the list all the time when the heat was on your family, and he retired and he put Sam Giancana up there. He put those guys up there to take because Sam Giancana, flashy guy, wanted to be part of Hollywood, going around Vegas acting like he's a movie star. You know, Benny Siegel going out to Hollywood. He's best friends with George Raft. You know, he's doing screen tests. He's going to dinner with all the Hollywood guys. You know, so he was the limelight. They pushed it on him. But, you know, Luciano and even Meyer Lansky, who was Benny's best friend, you know, he even didn't like what Benny was doing with being flashy.
And he couldn't save him either after a while.
He couldn't save. He did save him for a lot of years. But that last time, he couldn't do it.
After a while, they had it with him. Like
they told him it's too late. And he said, go ahead and make your vote. And he stood out of it. And he never questioned the order. And he never, ever tried to find out who did the hit. He knew it would be painful for him.
And the thing is, like with Hoffa, they go on the meeting, went up, and they just took him down.
Yeah, I like the Jimmy Hoffa thing because I love how everybody's chasing him, saying he's in the Giants end post. He's here. He's there. Listen, that guy went one place and one place only. He got ground up and then put in the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean somewhere. That's where he went.
Absolutely. Everybody thinks, oh, he's part of Giant Stadium.
He ain't nowhere.
He's buried in somebody's yard.
He got crushed and grounded up and crushed in the little piece of metal of the car that was left where he was crushed down. That dumped in the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, and that's where he's at.
Oh, was Frank Collada a made guy? He was an associate.
In Chicago, they didn't do a traditional ceremony. They didn't have the ceremony like that. So I know when Frank was being interviewed, they asked him that. And he explained that we didn't do the traditional ceremony. We didn't burn the saint in their hand and pick they didn't do that. They didn't have the ceremony. So I guess so to him, he couldn't say he couldn't even say, he goes, I guess I'm a made guy. And I would say probably yes. Like Tony Samacha was, all the capos, all the lieutenants, yes. Soldiers, I would say probably most of them, because they got their list as associates. And I knew Vic Tartan. He was an associate. My buddy Sam Lewis, he was an associate because he was a union boss. He ran the bartenders union in Chicago. And a lot of the coppers in Chicago were listed on that list in the FBI file as soldiers, not soldiers, as associates, because they like Sam, when he left the police department, he became the president of the bartenders union, lost his presidency with the union because he punched out a guy that was a lot higher than he was in politics, and it cost him to be the president of the bartenders union. But he had it made when he was there. Sam,
he dated one of the Andrews sisters, right? Sam G. Connor,
yes,
right?
Yeah. Sam, that's right. He was with what's her name, Phyllis McGuire, wasn't he? Was he also with Phyllis McGuire?
Oh, not the Andrews. My mistake.
Yeah, the Phyllis McGuire sisters. But I think the Phyllis McGuire, I think she slept around a little bit with a few guys, mob guys, But Sam was her main squeeze. I think he was in love with her, but she was a pistol, from what I understand. She's still alive, I believe, because I saw a show that she did. She talks about those days, and I think she's an old lady now, but she's got a lot of memorabilia stuff from those days, and she talked a little bit about Sam and her relationship with him, and
I think Virginia Hill was treacherous too.
Well, she was I call the Black Widow spider of the mob, out in California, because she slept with a lot of people.
She was Bugs's demise, right? Am I right?
Well, they were both each other's demise. They were two crazy people that were in love, that were both hot-headed. When they fought, they really fought. They didn't. They threw down, man, and she didn't care. But I would say that in real life, he definitely loved her and she loved him. But they were like water and vinegar together. You know what I'm saying? They were just a mudslide all the time, very toxic. So. And Joe, she wound up committing suicide. Correct? She went out to what country did she die in?
Maybe Switzerland or Europe.
I think it was Switzerland. That's right, because that's where apparently she was taking the money that she was putting in Swiss banks accounts, and they say she died of suicide. I don't believe she did. I believe she was.
No.
I believe that she was given a hot dose and she went to sleep, and that was it.
Oh, definitely. Because
same with Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe didn't die of a drug overdose. She was given a hot dose to be killed. She knew too much. Marilyn Monroe would have buried a lot of people.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's like, Joe, I also heard that, what do you call it? What was I going to say? I forgot about Virginia Hill. I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, we were covering Virginia Hill. You were talking about the McGuire system.
No, I forgot. But, Joe, we got to surprise all you people, because me and Joe compiled a list of mob movies, comedies, and dramas.
Yeah,
Joe's going to show some clips, and we're going to make our own comments about them.
And I got 14 strikes last week playing that Godfather stuff.
Well,
I had to take it. Not the channel, our episode. They would not monetize it, so I had to take a lot of that out to get. I took a lot of it out, so I just changed it. Music. Paramount came after us 5 minutes after I closed the show. Bam, bam, bam. We were coming in for every scene we played, every song that was played. Bam, 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 bam. It was like crazy.
Wow.
Paramount don't play. They stay on top of this stuff. I think there's probably because some of these movies that we're going to play tonight. I believe is Mean Street. Was that Martin Scorsese film?
Yeah, that was 1973.
So we're probably going to get a hit on this one. I don't care, because listen, it's not going to hurt my channel. It's not going to demonetize me, but I'm gonna start going now, and I'm gonna write YouTube, because if you're doing it for educational purposes and you're doing it in a good way, they're supposed to, because there's people that do get away doing this stuff. So there's got a way how you word it and what you're using it for. I think I just got to probably let them know I'm doing it to educate, is an educational part.
Absolutely, because everybody after Joe, we did the movies. We have another special treat for you. We're going to be talking about mob guys, war heroes, and veterans.
Yes, and to bring that up real quick, supertips.gg/Joey C is on. We really appreciate that. We know that Mike's got a voice there. We put Mike in there. I know you guys like a lot of guys like to send super tips. We appreciate it very much. All the people that came out and watched me for my emergency stream a couple hours ago. You see, I did not give in to the pressures of private corporations that are just taking advantage of the small people. I stood my ground and I got out of there by not doing any crime, by not breaking my way out of there. I just stood to my ground, fought for it, won that battle, and this is how I will fight all the way up to my presidency.
You know what, Joe? You could be a diplomat and get out of things without fire coming out of us.
It was a principle. I wasn't giving them that kind of money for that little amount of time. No, I don't care what they wanted.
The thing is, we can win a fight with them without getting heated and angry. But
that's right, and I did it right. I was proud of myself. I could have sat there because normally, after she got rude to me, I would have been screaming into this box and getting myself all crazy. I tried to call her every name in the book, but I just said, you know what? No problem. I'll get out of here. Thank you very much. I backed the I went, but I just calmed down and I had a plan in action. And I said I'm not giving into this. I'm not giving into this. I refuse to give into this.
No, it's not worth it because why you can have a heart attack, a stroke, get arrested, get on law, get all kinds of trouble. You know what I mean?
Right. So I knew I couldn't break just go break through the gate because they would have got my plate and I would have got arrested for vandalism.
Joe, in my 20s, in my drinking days, I would have rammed the gate.
Well, I promise you, if I was in my drug days, I probably would have just broke that right through there. I wouldn't have cared. I wouldn't have cared. Or I would have upstairs. I would have took my license plate off. Then I would have rammed it. I would have took my plate off and rammed it because then they couldn't get nothing.
Joe, thank God we're in current day.
Yeah, thank God. That's what if I was still that person, I would have took my plate off and I'd have rammed right through that gate. I don't care. I would have done that. I know me. So Mike, as Mike was saying, guys, we're going to, for the second part of this, we're going to talk about, there was only about maybe 7, 8 people that, believe it or not, mob bosses that were in the military. And we're going to, that's going to be Mike going to be presenting that. He'll talk about that. I handle this part here. We put together a lot of clips. It's all ready the right way. And we're going to switch to the video room. But don't forget, guys, supertip.gg/Joey because me and Mike, it helps us to
keep production going.
We appreciate everybody that gives.
Absolutely.
We love memberships. I had lost some memberships. We were very close to 200 and we lost a few, but we got 30 of them the other day back. So I'd like to hit that 200 goal sometime soon. So if you guys if you feel like you want to donate some memberships, please do. All right, let's get over to the video room, Mike. I'm going into the video room and there we are. And I think what we'll play is first, Mike, because Mean Street wouldn't let me record. I couldn't copy this movie into my computer because they got it locked where you can't do it. So I'm going to have to share this one. So I'll do that, get that one out of the way. So let me just go here and share that. That's the only one. The rest are all in it. I got them all here on the side. So this is a movie called Mean Street. And it was when all the big actors of today or of the 90s and the early 2000s were in this movie. And I'm going to show you this. Hang on. Let me just put this up here. I got to see where this went.
It helped launch Harvey Keitel and De Niro.
Very much so. But if you look carefully, the guy that played in The Sopranos, that played Richie Aprile, he's in this too.
David Proble. He's awesome.
That's right. He's in this movie. So that guy, Richie Aprile, the guy that played Richie Aprile, he started out with all these guys, Harvey Keitel, Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese. He was one of the guys that did movies with those guys. He was in the same, it was a whole group of guys that went through New York they took the same the classes and they were all together. I believe a lot of these guys went through what's his name. They went through the actor studio. I believe they went through. A lot of those guys. Went through
Strasberg, right? Definitely.
Yeah, Lee Strasberg. Yes,
Strasberg
most definitely.
Played,
yes.
Hyman Roth in The Godfather.
That's right. That's right. Lee Strasberg, great man. How about Eli Wallach? Believe it or not, Eli Wallach played a lot of mob movies.
Oh yeah.
Eli Wallach, a lot of them. All right, what happened to
So did Anthony Quinn.
Anthony Quinn did, that's right. Anthony Quinn did, that's right. You're right, Anthony Quinn did. All right, so let me put this here.
This is Mean Streets, everybody, right?
This is Mean Streets. This is a movie back in 1971, and there's Harvey Keitel, a young Harvey Keitel, who was also with Robert De Niro in Deer Hunter. Was he in Deer Hunter? Harvey Keitel?
I'm not really sure.
But he was a Taxi Driver. I know he was a Taxi Driver.
Oh yeah, he played
the pimp. He played the pimp, didn't he?
Yeah, Sporty.
Yeah, Sporty. That's right. So he definitely was there. So let me see here. All right. So this is here. Lock that. Let me just put this down here, and we'll get this. And we're going to play this. Like I said, if I get a little thing on it, it's okay. It's worth it because we want to give you guys the best show we can. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play this. This is a scene where Robert De Niro goes crazy on this. It's about a let's see, it's a 2-minute 58-second clip. So here we go. That's a classic fucking.
Wow.
That was a powerful fucking scene.
A very
I don't care what
powerful
anybody says. That's powerful.
You know what it is with Mean Streets? It was like one of the first movies after The Godfather, right?
Uh-huh.
That there was a big difference because first of all, The Godfather were all high-end mafia guys, like you know, they're born into the life,
right.
from Sicily. These guys are more like street guys, like associates, low-level soldiers. You know what I mean? They were like hardcore, the working mafia guys.
That's right. But I mean, the powerness of how Robert De Niro was when these guys were coming out, even Harvey Keitel, flawless in the scene of when he wanted to wring his neck, and how De Niro with his great fuck you, he's sucking my balls, motherfucker.
He didn't care. Like De Niro turned into Roy DeMeo. He had guts. Didn't care.
But the history is a lot of those guys, De Niro, Keitel, the guy that played the part of Richard. There's other movies they played in. Of course, the guy that played in Dog Day Afternoon, Johnny Gazella, who he played in 3 movies, starred in 3 movies that were about the movies were Oscar movies, all of them.
Oh yeah,
every movie he was in was an Oscar movie.
Unbelievable.
He died. Right? He died at a young age.
He died at 42 of cancer.
At 42, and they said that he would have been, out of all these guys, John Gazella would have been the guy that would have been the top dog out of all these guys.
He was really good, close friends with Al Pacino.
Al Pacino and him were very close friends. Yes. So that was Mean. That was the movie. I don't know if you guys seen it. I recommend the movie highly. Came out in 1973. I believe it came out a year after The Godfather. Godfather came out in 72.
It's weird because it's crazy because like after The Godfather came out, the whole string of low budget movie, you know what I mean? We're going to be seeing something after that, so it was crazy.
Yeah, there were a lot, but that was a low budget movie that was outstanding. Mean Street.
Oh yeah, there wasn't a big budget, but it was really for the money they had. They did a great job.
It was awesome. We're going to play this next one. We're going to go into probably my top 3 of all time. I actually watched this movie quite a bit. It's not so much where it's on the money, on the spot of the money of how these guys, but it takes you back in a time of 4 kids that started on the street. You kind of get who they're talking about, but it's 4 kids that started on the street. Robert De Niro was in it, James Wood, even the guy that played Rocky's brother in Rocky. He was in that movie. What's his name?
Burt Young.
Burt Young was in
Joe
that
Pesci.
One. Joe Pesci was in this one.
James
it also
Woods,
to show you
Danny Aiello. It's star-studded.
Danny Aiello's in it. A lot of New York guys that came up. Now, I don't know if anybody knows. Do you know how Joe Pesci how he was discovered by Robert De Niro?
Oh, he's in a movie called The Bone Collector with Frank Vincent.
Right, correct. But then he ran into him at a restaurant. He was at this restaurant, and I believe while in between working, Joe Pesci working, he was the manager of that restaurant, wasn't he?
Oh, in the Bronx. I think it was in the Bronx, right? Restaurant.
And he had just seen Pesci play that movie, and he wanted him for a Raging Bull.
And I heard he called the restaurant, and Pesci didn't believe it.
Right, he called the restaurant. That's what he did for. He called the restaurant, and he hung up on him, kept hanging up on him.
Because you know what? Joe was in the business forever. He'd been screwed over. He had all kinds of
right.
Came
and he called the restaurant. I speak to Joe Pesci.
He didn't think it was Robert De Niro. Hung up on him.
He hung up on him. Yeah, right. You're Robert De Niro. All right, buddy. Yeah. And he kept hanging up on him. So he had to go down. To the restaurant and show him it was him calling him because he kept hanging up on him.
Freaked out when he must have bugged out when he seen.
But the movie he wanted him for, which was an outstanding movie, was Jake LaMotta's life story, Raging Bull. And Jake LaMotta was that crazy in real life.
Oh, I seen a movie. Oh, he was LaMotta.
Yeah.
Those are my top fighters from those days. LaMotta.
Now, LaMotta got in some trouble, didn't he? He got in some trouble with the law. He made a big boo-boo, didn't he?
I think he did years ago, right?
In his club, he got fooled by a couple young ladies that were minors that were dressed looking like they were in their 20s. And he entertained them. And he got big trouble. It almost destroyed him.
I had no idea about that because
that's what happened.
Marciano died in a plane crash.
Yep. Now, Jack Dempsey, he had a restaurant in New York, didn't he?
I think it's on 36th Street.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. That's what I hear.
He had a bar, Jack Dempsey. I think it's on like 36. If it's still there, it's by like Madison Square Garden.
Isn't that something? Now, you're talking Jack Dempsey days. That's back in the what? The 1920s? 1930s?
Definitely the 20s, like that. Like
and
right after World War
I. So you're talking almost 100 years that his place, and he's been
definitely
many years. I mean, he's been, the family kept that preserved and going. If it's still going, we don't know. We don't know if it to be a fact.
Well, I know it was going as far as 20 years ago. I did comedy at that place 20 years ago.
That's outstanding.
So I don't know if it's still there.
They would have comedy hour in there. They would bring guys in to entertain the guests. Play little places like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because you know what? As long as they thought they were going to make money, it would bring anybody in. It didn't matter.
Did you ever know the guy that played a pussy, Big Pussy? Because he's from New York. He was a restaurant manager.
Vincent Pastore, yes.
Vincent Pastore, yeah.
I met him a couple of times.
Yeah, I heard he was a decent guy too. Heard a lot of those guys were. Michael Imperiale, you ever know him?
Who?
Michael Imperiale.
It's funny you mentioned him, right? Okay. I did a gig about 7 years ago with Artie Lang, right? And I got off stage, and Imperiale walked in, right? Now, I wasn't sure it was him because he looked a little different, and it was dark.
He does look different from off screen. He does.
Right? It was dark in the room. It looked a little different. And he came by himself. He sat by himself in the corner, right? Now, I didn't want to go over to him and annoy him because he probably came by himself, wanted a drink, right?
Right.
So I didn't, at first I wasn't sure if it was him. Found out the next day it was him.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because with Imperiale, he had an acting company, a theater company like 25 years ago.
Right.
Right. I wanted to audition for a theater company, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, what a nightmare that was. Because you know who was in charge of the auditions?
Who was that?
Vincent Cortola, Johnny Sachs.
Johnny Sachs, that's right.
Sweet guy, right? Really nice guy.
I heard that about it. He was a really nice guy in real life.
One of the women on The Sopranos, she was a jackass that was at the audition. What do you call it? Sharon Angela. She played Richie April's, Ralphie's girlfriend or wife.
Oh, yeah.
She's a jackass in real life. Yeah. Obnoxious, right? But what has she done recently? That's the whole thing. When you're a jerk, and you're a jerk, you know?
What Andrea DeMeo, Tomato, how do you pronounce her name?
Oh, Drea?
The Drea? I just saw something. She became a sheriff in a small town somewhere.
She was doing fans only. How crazy.
I don't know. This is what I heard. I don't know if it's true, if there's any truth behind that, but.
I don't know. I mean,
they said there was a new sheriff in town, and she was dressed in police gear, and she was getting out of her car.
Anything's possible because that's just
now she was mob tied in real life. She said she had uncles that were in the mob.
Well, you know, who really was, what do you call it? And I feel sorry for her so badly. Catherine Ducci, right?
No, yeah, well, she's always with Chaz Palminteri going to his house and doing his podcast. They're real close.
Well, her father was a real life gangster, right?
That's what I heard. Yeah.
And he was gunned down when she was like 10 years old. You know what I mean, right? Yeah. So I felt sorry for her to lose her father like that at such a young age.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it affected her. It definitely had to.
Yeah, that's true. You know,
I had a friend of mine, it's a comic, right?
Yeah.
This is very weird, right? He's a comic, right? One day we were talking about different things in the mob. His father was murdered by the mob when he was an infant. Right? And after the father was murdered, the mother took him out of New York, moved way far away, and changed their last name. He told me, he goes, the name I go by isn't even my real last name. He goes, my father was murdered when I was an infant. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, we got a super chat, Mike. I want to read it because this is a good friend to the channel.
Nice.
When I went to New York, he purchased the Hall of Fame baseball tickets, sent me, my wife, and Spider to watch. All the years I worked at baseball, I never been to the Hall of Fame. He paid for everything. Then we went down where he lives in New York, and he bought us dinner. Real nice guy. Yeah, Rick from New York, great guy. He says, thank you for the 4th. Joey C. and the toast of Tote Hill. Mikey B., you guys sound great. I spent some time in Huguenot when I was a kid. There you go. He's a great guy, Mike. He really is. This guy.
Rick, did you go to Tottenham High School? Can he answer us?
If he's in the chat, he'll answer us back. Yeah, or he'll text me. He can text me. He'll text
Thank
me.
you, Rick.
He reminded me that
very nice
that
of
was
you.
there.
Thank
Yeah,
you
text
very
me, or
much.
if you were listening, Mike wanted to know if you went to high school, a certain high school. But he's a great guy. If he ever reaches out to you, Mike, he's a good guy. Trust me.
Yeah, if you ever went to Tottenham High School.
Yeah.
If you ever want to chat, people know.
Yeah, I recommend highly that he's as solid as they come. Solid as they come. You ain't got to worry about him. All right, let's go in. And I'm gonna play this one scene. I'm gonna tell you I've watched this movie quite a bit. Like I said,
I love this movie, right, Joe?
It wasn't based on anything basically true, but it was just basically a movie of 4 kids, and the similarities of how it was in that era in New York.
Oh yeah, like before Prohibition. And Joe,
yeah,
you know what's crazy? There's 2 versions of this.
Yes,
there's a long version which is like 4 hours.
That's right. That's the one I watched. The long version. It's
Me
more
too.
than 4 hours.
Short one is
more
like
than 4
half
hours.
that. But
It's like 6 hours.
They're both great, both short and long version.
Yeah,
this is a blockbuster. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yes,
too.
this is by my top 3. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if you guys ever heard me tell you about cock insurance. We're gonna show you the scene where cock insurance was invented.
This is funny. I love this.
Let me see if this is. And that was a great scene, and
that was one of the best. Because
one of the best. I mean, it's a moment of choking up, and we'll show. We got a couple more small shorts we're gonna show on it, and then we'll talk about probably one of the most underrated movies, I think.
Oh, it is, because Joe, the title is brilliant.
It is.
Once Upon a Time in America. I love the title of it, right?
But it was so underrated. This movie should have got way scored better and should have made way more money than what it did.
I don't know why it didn't, because look at all the star power and talent.
Brilliant. It was brilliant.
And it was well written and well done.
It was. We're going to go to scene number 2. Oh, no, we can't play this one first. We got to play that. If I play that one, I'll spoil it. We're going to play this one. Nope, no, we just played this one. Cock insurance. Everybody, yeah, that was funny. That was funny. That scene there, I mean, come on, everybody in the chat room, make sure tomorrow you call your insurance guy and get cock insurance. You got to get cock insurance.
Oh, God. Joe, she was smoking hot, too.
Tuesday Wells, she played a lot of big roles. She played a lot of movies with Elvis Presley. She done a few things with a lot of big names. She was James Caan. She did this movie, The
TV show, too.
Yeah, she was a firecracker.
So she was on The Many Lives of Dobie Gillis.
Yes. Dobie Gillis, yeah. Remember that. Yep.
She was super young in there.
Yeah, yeah. You know, there's so many great movies, but this one, I'm going to play the last scene here. This is after they take the job, and I'm going to show you that scene too. But I'm going to show you this first, and then we're going to go to the next movie, and then at the end here I'm going to show you the actual robbery, and it's hilarious. It's just funny. Tuesday Wells played a great role in that movie. So let's go to the third scene. This is after they're going to bring the diamonds to Joe now.
Joe, didn't Noodle say to him, tomorrow they'll send you after me?
That's right. He made the statement. He goes, today they send us over to get them. Tomorrow they're going to send me to come and get you. He was trying to, because he didn't like the mob. He wanted no part of doing anything for those guys. And he tried to explain. But what's his name? Remember they went out and got the throne, the king throne. He went and got it.
Oh, that was crazy.
And he thought he was the king. And then he told Robert De Niro, you take it, Noodles. You want the throne? I don't want it. It fits you perfect. But he told him. And then he became Senator Bailey at the end of the movie. Senator Bailey. And he sent for Robert De Niro as an old man, Noodles, who left because of all the troubles. And
I couldn't believe that Max lived. You know what I mean? How crazy that was. And it's like.
And then the mystery: did he jump in the wood chipper or not? Did that's the question they left you hanging.
I think you know what? I think he knew he might have, because he knew he was finished.
He got done. He got in big trouble with the senator. I think they found out who he really was. He was going before the commission of the Senate, where they were going to take him down. He walks out. Noodles leaves the party, and then the other thing, he was Noodles. All his girlfriend, the one he was in love with, he took her under his wing and had a kid with her.
Oh yeah, the kid looked like, him. The kid looked like Noodles.
He looked like he didn't look like Noodles. Did he look like Noodles?
I forgot if he looked like Max.
He looked like damn it, James Wood. He looks like James Wood character in that movie, the young kid. He was like
he looked like Max, because
he looks like Max. So he was. That's why she didn't want him to see the kid, because when he walked into the room and she said, "This is my friend," he looked at him. He knew that Max was sleeping with his girl.
I know, and you know what's sad when Max tells him who he is, right?
Right.
He goes, "You were so sad that day when you seen all our bodies on the street.
Right.
You had tears in your eyes. You were too choked up to realize it wasn't me."
Yeah. Yeah, it was something else, man. That movie is the most underrated movie. I recommend it for everybody to watch that movie. That's a great movie.
I haven't seen it in a while, but it's one of my favorites because it was just so well done.
And you can get it free anywhere. I think you can even get it free on YouTube. I don't think you even have to pay for it. I think just about all the outlets you could just download it into your download. There was a more.
It's way better than a lot of others.
Way better.
It should have been one of the top mafia movies ever.
I agree, and it was most underrated. It just was underrated. It's sad. So that top recommendation for us. We have. Let's see. We're gonna go to the next one. I'm gonna show. We showed Once Upon a Man. And now here was a little comedy one. This was kind of funny. I don't know if you guys remember a movie called Married to the Mob with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, I love her.
Now this was more of a comedy type thing.
Yeah,
and it was pretty funny. There was a lot of them we didn't have time to put all these in, but the one that Steve Martin did where he went out and
I wish I forgot about that.
That's a great movie too. It's a comedy.
I love that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that movie too, where he went out and he was in a town with they had all the ex-mob guys that were on the witness protection program. They were all together, and he started back up the family.
It's hilarious.
A hilarious movie. He was going to testify.
Didn't they meet up in some kind of store? And he goes, "Frankie the Fish." I thought he was dead.
The guys were in wheelchairs. The guy come with a sawed-off double-barrel shotgun. It was hilarious. It was hilarious.
It was funny because, and you know what's crazy? All older guys in the program, and they're trying to start their own mob back up again.
Do you know what another good mob movie was? A comedy one filmed in Miami. Burt Reynolds, Richard Dreyfuss, Dan Yayetta, whatever his name is.
Aiello?
Not Aiello, the other guy. Dan
I forgot how to say. Oh, he was on Cheers, I think, too.
Yeah. Those four guys did a movie. They did a movie. The old guy that never spoke a word. He was a dancer. That one guy that plays a lot of mob movies. And they went to Miami. They were all old gangsters, and they were all in nursing. They were in the nursing home.
Oh, I forgot the name of it. I know what you're talking about. It was
funny as hell. But Burt Reynolds, every time he hit Burt Reynolds in the head, he would come up with a good idea. He goes, "I got an idea." Every time they would knock him out, purposely because he always came up with a good idea when he came to. I forgot the name of that movie. It was a great movie too. That was a great movie.
My Blue Heaven was priced.
My Blue Heaven. That was the one that was a funny movie too.
And that's underrated too.
That is underrated. But he played a mobster. Down to the voice. You got to give Steve Martin a lot of credit there.
And Rick Moranis as the agent was hilarious.
Right. He's the federal agent. That's right. Who he taught him how to live his life. Rick Moranis, because he was a tough stuffed shirt FBI guy, and Steve Martin made him into an Italian suave guy. You know.
Yeah, I love it because he was like this nerdy Italian guy, right? There was like stiff,
no doubt.
And Martin made him into like a wise guy. It was hilarious.
He did. It was great. Let's see what this one is. Nope, that's not that one. Let's see. All right, so we're gonna watch a couple scenes from Married to the Mob. Yeah, this is with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Al Lewis, Grandpa Monster, was in this.
Yeah, he was. That was a classic movie. That was a funny movie and a lot of comedy, a lot of good actors in there. And I'm going to show this other one, a little shorter clip, and we'll talk a little bit about Michelle Pfeiffer. I think Michelle Pfeiffer was an underrated actress. I think she did a lot of great roles.
She was in the movie that I was in with De Niro, The Family.
She played Catwoman in Batman. I mean, come on.
She's a knockout.
Yeah. Series throughout the 1970s. That one guy that was in Mean Street, the one that Robert De Niro pulled the gun on, he played on a lot of movies. It's like Starsky and Hutch, Beretta. He was on all those series.
I'll tell you one thing, Joe. They may not have been famous, but I'm sure they made a great living in their day.
That's what it was. Those guys who got opportunity to have many roles, they stayed as the key. I guess back in those days, the key was everybody wanted to be a movie star and make big money, but they wanted to be a working actor more than anything.
Oh yeah,
a steady working actor with union scale wages. And they made a living like that their whole life.
Absolutely, because Joe, there's a big difference, right, between an actor and a movie star. Because
that's right, big difference.
Movie stars are just good-looking people that can act and hold their own a little bit.
Right.
Al Pacino is both a movie star and an actor.
Well, his main passion is theater. Believe it or not.
Oh, he loves Shakespeare too.
He played it, but that's his passion. His true passion was being in theater, you know. And a lot of these guys are on the board of directors for the Actors Studio. They all have a piece of interest in that place.
That's
because of how they were taught there, and the guy that was the mastermind behind all of them. You know.
I mean, Joe, who do you like? It's always
was
a
amazing.
toss up between De Niro and Pacino acting wise.
Well, you know, they're two of my favorite actors.
It's hard to pick.
I think Pacino gets the edge because he was more quirkier. I think he was more, his style was, he's got the distinguished, you know, that voice and that laugh. De Niro's got that dialogue that no one could probably duplicate it. But I got to say, there's a close for both of them with me. But I got to give it to Pacino because I think he's a little more quirkier. I think he's.
Me too, because but the thing is, Pacino hasn't done as many movies.
No, Robert De Niro's played in a lot of stuff.
But Pacino had a lot of quality things. You know,
a lot of quality things. But right now, De Niro's not too fan favorite. He took a politic turn, and he made a bad mistake with his, you know, going with his politics, and a lot of people are not liking him in Hollywood.
No, because Joe, as a comic and an actor for years, right?
Yeah.
I do not think, especially celebrities like that, or Bruce Springsteen, any of them should not be involved, had any kind of political things, because if they wanted, put it this way, Joe, if they wanted to run for office, they damn well have the money to campaign and the clout. You know what I mean? But they won't pull the trigger on it.
There's been a few people in entertainment and movie stars that became famous politicians.
Arnold Schwarzenegger
became the governor. A non-American could never be president, but they wanted him. Kennedy's wanted him to run for president, but he couldn't because he wasn't born here. But he became the governor, and he did a lot of good for the schools for the kids in California.
Oh, Arnold, yeah.
Ronald Reagan, great movie star, became a president. And Sonny Bono, great singer, Cher's ex-husband, became a senator, didn't he?
Yes, definitely, because a mayor, I think, in California.
Oh, he was. I think he was on a. I think he was a senator of Congress. Maybe he was.
Oh, really? Whoa, I didn't know he was.
Yeah, and here's a guy that was a great singer who just left the stage altogether after him and Cher broke up. He was you love with Cher his whole life. They break up. They get a divorce. She goes into her single career. He goes into politics, and he was in their politics longer than he was a singer.
And it's
and died in a plane crash. He died in a plane crash, Sonny Bono.
It's crazy because with her, right? She is an amazing actress. I mean,
right, she is.
She was good in the movie Mask. She blew me away acting.
She did play some great roles. She did.
She can act.
Today, right now, Mike. Now, Cher's in her 70s. There's about 4 or 5 starlets that were bombshells in their younger years that today, in their 70s, that are still keeping themselves up. Who do you think out of the elite group of maybe 5 or 6 women that were big starlets? They were drop dead gorgeous, but today they're in their 70s and they still keep their sex appeal, still look good, still dressed to the nines, and still, even if they're not in the field no more of acting, they did well with their money, they invested it right, and they kept themselves at the par. Who would be a top choice that is still alive? You would still say is still got it for you.
Well, she passed away recently, but I loved Raquel Welch growing up.
I was a big fan of hers too. Didn't Sophie Loren? Didn't she? Just
oh my God, yeah.
You got Tuesday. Well, she stayed good for up until now. She don't look so good, but I tell you the one that probably looks the best between the two. You got Cher, who's almost 80 years old, and she don't look it at all. But Dolly Parton, she's pretty good for her age.
Absolutely, because I mean, Charo, remember her?
Yes, Charo. Yeah, Charo. She's kept her looks up for a long time.
I love all these women were hot when we were growing up. Jane, who else too? Joey Hedderton.
Yeah. What was the lady that played the TV series? Damn it, not Barbara Eden. It's not Barbara Eden. She's maintained her look.
She's like in her early 90s now.
Did pretty well up till lately. But there's another one that did the one that played in Green Acres.
Oh, Eva Gabor.
She had 5 sisters. They were all twins, weren't they?
They were all beautiful because they were all model hot. And you know who else too I loved on TV? Adrienne Barbeau.
Yes.
And you know who else too was really cute on TV? Bernadette Peters was hot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Cher, for her age, I mean, she's still active. She's still doing. She's still singing, traveling, touring. She's done well with her money to keep her appearance in the public eye. I know it's a lot of work because they say once you start getting cut and doing facelifts and tummy tucks and new boob jobs, you have to do this your whole life because it goes bad when they fall apart. You know what I'm saying?
It's horrible. It's like being a Frankenstein monster.
Exactly. They turn into a monster if they don't have the money to keep themselves up. They literally become your breasts start sagging and falling off. Your tummy tucks become looking. Yeah, it gets really bad if they don't maintain themselves. Facelifts are the worst. People that once they start that first facelift, they have to continue to do it the rest of their life, or they're going to be in trouble. They're going to become very.
I'm. You know what, Joe? It took me a long time to be happy with who I am, and I'm happy.
Me
now,
too. Me too.
You know?
Me too. Mike, it was just a year ago when I started getting as big as I was. How tall are you, Mike?
I'm only 5'10".
All right, so you still got a couple inches of me. I'm 5'8". When I hit 265, I couldn't even. When I go take a shower, I had to leave the lights off. I couldn't look in the mirror at myself. I was so disgusted with myself. And my wife goes, "Why are you?" She goes, "I go, because one, I look disgusting. I never thought I'd let myself go like that. Two, you're 17 years younger than me, and I can only imagine what you're thinking. Oh, I'm letting myself." She goes, "I don't look at you like that. I love you." I go, "Yeah, that's what all women say."
That's funny.
I get any bigger, you're going to be cutting the rug looking for a younger, hotter guy. I know it. She goes, "I would never do that to you."
That's what all women
say. That's how I was thinking. My mentality was there because I couldn't even stand looking at myself. And I'm like, I got to do something about this. I have to. And I kept saying it for a long time. People on the internet kept saying, "You're not going to do nothing. You're just going to get fat and die. That's all you're going to do."
You know what, Joe? Half of them aren't even real. They're fake names.
They're probably bigger than me. I understand that.
Not only that, Joe, right? They love sadly, the internet.
Let's read this super chat.
Is a home for bullies and psychos.
Go ahead and read that one for.
Oh, nice. Hey, Ronnie Muncher, I pulled myself several times with Dolly Parton. we all did.
Yeah, Dolly Parton. There's a picture I just saw from yesterday. It was yesterday, the day before. I think it was up on somewhere on Facebook. She was her new look, but she stays to the nines. That woman, and she's a friendly lady. There's times that she'll go on Messenger with her fans, and she'll just pop up and start talking to you.
She's very charitable too.
Very charitable and very. I will swear to God, I was in my Facebook a few years back. And I get this message. It's from Dolly Parton, and it was a group chat. I was invited, and I go, "Are you really Dolly?" But she goes, and she was really her. And I said, "I do this every once in a while. I don't mind talking. I appreciate my fan because I always was a big fan of hers. I'm not a big country and western guy, but I enjoyed about Dolly Parton because she just how she lived her life. She lived her life of being a good person. She's charitable.
That's why she is what she is because like Paul Newman,
right." Paul Newman was one of my favorite people too. I love Paul Newman, man.
Anybody who's charitable,
yeah.
You know who's super charitable too? Sam Simon.
Who?
Sam. He was one of the creators of The Simpsons.
Oh yeah. You know who's really charitable right now? Big blockbuster movie star Keanu Reeves gives all his money away.
Gives it
all away.
What Sam Simon? He came from money. He lived in Beverly Hills.
Right.
You know what he did with his money? You're going to freak out. He was a billionaire from The Simpsons, right?
Yeah.
He gave money to a whole bunch of human charities, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Money to animal charities, right?
Yep.
And the rest of his money went to his family to make sure they lived good the rest of their lives. Yep. You know what he said? I came into this world with nothing, and I want to leave with the same amount.
You got it. One thing I was drilled in my head. By older uncles, by great uncles and family members. Never forget where you come from, no matter how successful.
Of course.
Doesn't matter. Never forget where you come from and who you are. Never forget that. Never try to be if you get money to shung on people that you grew up when you grew up poor. If you become rich, don't ever treat people bad. Never forget where you come from.
Joe, if I became a millionaire tomorrow, all I would want is to dress well, eat good, take care of my family.
I would donate a lot of money too, Mike. I would give a lot of money away. I would. I would. I know me. I do it now. I give my last $5 to a guy sitting on the corner. I know he's going to go buy booze with it, or I know he's going to go buy a Cracker Rock with it. I feel so. They're out there starving. You tell them go buy food. They say, yeah. You know they're going to run and get a can of beer.
Oh, it's funny you mention that, right? I was in the city like 20-something years ago, right? and some guy asked me for money, so I had like a couple of dollars.
Right.
This guy in back of me was an Irish guy with a brogue. He goes, you just enabled that drunk.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I said, look, I don't know if I enabled him or not.
Right.
The guy was hungry. You know what? I did it because I felt like doing it and helping him. He goes, but you're an enabler. He looks like a hooligan. I go, well, you know what? That was my money, and if I felt like I did the right thing in my heart.
How many people have misjudged a person by reading just the cover?
I know,
and that's a fact. It happens to us on the internet all the time. They misjudge. They read the book or all the lies they hear. Because I was very skeptical with a lot of guys. I'm like, why do I give him my last $5? I know he ain't gonna buy nothing. But my wife, she's a firm believer. First of all, if you do something kind for someone, never expect nothing back in return. Don't do it because you want him something in return. She's a big about that. And the other day, I gave a guy a $20 bill. And I know definitely he was an old man. He was sitting outside the gas station. I was getting gas, and I went up to him. I said, "Today you're gonna hit the payload, buddy," because I know he was. And I pulled out a $20 bill in my pocket. I go, "Here you go." She looked at me and she goes, "You know what? I'm proud of you." She said, "Because I'll give $5. I'll give my change, but I gave this guy a $20 bill."
Well, because see, that's the thing. And Joe, it's really, I think you'll agree with me with this. Being a good Catholic and super religious myself.
Yeah.
My mom told me, like, if somebody is in need and asks for help, that could be Christ in disguise.
That's right. That's
coming to you.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
And seeing how you're going to treat them.
You're 100% right, because people don't realize. I know there's a lot of people that don't believe in God. They believe that when you die, that there's nothing past that. There's a lot of people that know that there's heaven. There's a lot of people. And one thing that when I from time to time when I talk to Michael Francisi, and he said he would never fall for anything again until he thoroughly investigates everything about it. And when he's in prison, he studied every book that came out on Jesus Christ. He read every book, and he could come to the conclusion that he was a real person. God is real, and he lives by that. He lives by that. And he says we will all be judged. My wife says, just remember, you ask for forgiveness, and God forgives. He wants us to love. That's all he asks for, is us to show him love and put him first and just show love to everybody. But we're still going to be tested. Even if we get to heaven, we're still going to have to answer for we're going to answer for some of those cruel things we did.
Oh, absolutely. Because Joe, I remember years ago, I worked in a deli, like in 1984.
All you New York guys worked in a deli. What are you talking about?
Oh, no, but listen to this, right? This is before people knew what homeless people were, right?
Yeah.
They were called them bag ladies in those days.
Yeah, bag lady. That's right. Bagman, bag lady. That's right. That's right.
Well, here's what happened, right? There was this bag lady hanging out, elderly woman hanging out. It was boiling hot, right? Boiling hot out. And I could see, like, her lips drying up, how hot it was. So I bought a salsa, like a big thing of salsa like this. She wasn't friendly at first. She goes, "Get out of here." So I'm like, I gave it to her. And then she grabbed it from me and she just walked away. I'm like, okay. And I thought to myself, when I gave her the soda, you know what I thought to myself? I thought of Christ on the cross.
Yeah. Mike.
Begging for water. And the thing is, I told it to other people who were non-believers, and of course they mocked me.
Yeah. Mike, you want to know what made me believe? You want to know when I really realized God is real? The night me and my wife were brutally stabbed by my child, and we lived through it. That's when I knew God really was in that room and lifted and saved us. I know for a fact that God was there to take care of all three of us. There's no doubt in my mind that was living proof enough. The miracle that was there that night when especially Christina should have never ever came back to life, and that's when I knew that God was real.
Oh, he's there all the time.
That's when I knew he was really there, and I've had a guardian angel my whole life. But I tell you, I did a horror. I'm not going to get into it too long. Maybe about a minute or two. I did a very horrible thing as an 8-9-year-old kid. It's something, probably the one thing I regret. I know that someday I'm going to answer to God for this, and I beg forgiveness for this. I was wrong. I was an 8 or 9-year-old kid. It was probably 1974. I lived on 1334 Melrose Street in Chicago, and 1338 was a little old lady who we called the bag lady of the neighborhood. She went garbage picking every day and brought bags of garbage into her apartment. Now, we thought she was just some scumbag lady that was renting that apartment. And she smelled bad, and she was not all up in the head. and I did a horrible thing to her as a kid. I took a slingshot and I shot a rock and hit her eye out.
Oh God!
And I ran. I hid in my attic, and my grandmother, my mother's mother, not most of my family were in the Chicago Police Department in the district I lived in, and the police were called. And my grandmother told them I was hiding in the attic, and I was in the attic, and she ratted me out. But I didn't. They took me. They took me over to her as the ambulance was taking her away. And, I didn't get in trouble. It was, but I did get a very deep talk after that from the police. And then my grandfather talked to me about it and asked me, do you realize the seriousness of what you did? And as I got older, Mike, the older I get, and even now, I think about this regularly and I cry about what I did to this poor old lady.
Well,
because I was a selfish, stupid little brat kid that didn't understand nothing about life. I was very young, and I didn't have a father to discipline me. I was wild. My mother couldn't control me, and because I didn't like the way she looked or smelled, I decided to take my slingshot. I wasn't thinking I was aiming. I wasn't trying to shoot her eye out. It was just a luck shot that did.
Oh God!
And I know that I'm going to have to answer to that someday, and I feel so horrible. It's probably that would be the worst thing I ever did to someone that didn't deserve something like that. You understand? Turned out when her family disowned her, that she died and she had an estate. This lady owned that building. She wasn't renting that building, and she had a lot of money, but her children disowned her. Apparently, I don't know the whole story, but she wasn't a nice mother growing up, and her kids lost, and she had a lot of money, and she left it to all charity, all her money, her bill, everything. And I never ever. It's funny how you may forget something you did bad as a kid, but that came back into my life and has haunted me every day of my life.
No, sometimes there's certain things you can't like turn off.
But you see, I could talk about it because I'm not ashamed to tell my bad, because it just makes me. It's how I become a better person.
Well,
and I know that it was wrong, and I know I should have never done that like that. But I've learned I would never harm her. And from that moment on, when I became an adult, I protected every senior citizen I knew because I knew I did wrong to this woman.
Joe, do you think, that's the difference. Do you think someone like Spilotro would have remorse over that if he did it?
I think, I don't know. I think a lot of guys might have. Listen, I was a kid. I was.
He might have. Am I right or wrong? He might, even though he was a stone cold killer, he might have had a little bit of remorse over it, right?
What I did is I should have got my ass beat brutally by somebody. Is what should have happened to me. After I think about it now, I should have got a bunch of guys gang up on me and beat the piss out of me. Is what should have happened. And so it's something I got to live with. It's something I can't take back. I can't take it back. I can't physically tell her I'm sorry because she's been long gone many years after that. She died a few years after that. I was still a teenager when she passed. And for another 40 years has passed. So it's something that I acknowledge. I know what I did wrong, and it's something that I know now why I was so protective over all the rest of the seniors that were in my family, and I became very respectful. Never disrespected another senior again in my life ever again from that moment on. And I don't know if that was supposed to happen, because they say your life is written, and there's a plan for everybody.
No, because the book of life, because certain things you're supposed to, I don't get that with the book of life. Everything that's supposed to happen in life is supposed to be there, right?
You don't believe in that?
Well, I believe in it, but the thing is, certain things, I don't question it, but it's just hard to figure out because, what about someone who kills themselves, like my friend when he was young, right? Was he supposed to die like that? God didn't want you to die like that.
Is it written in the Bible? It's the one way you can't get into heaven if you commit suicide?
I think so, but the thing is, I don't get if that was written in the book of life. I'm supposed to be against it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't question it though. You know what I mean? Because I never question God's decisions.
We're not supposed to. My wife tells me you're not supposed to be. You're not supposed to judge God. No, we're not supposed to judge anybody. That's the one thing. We're not supposed to be judge and jury to anybody.
No.
And people are very judgmental. That's the problem.
Of course.
That's the one thing that got away from the religion is everybody's judgmental towards people. Everybody.
Of course, especially on the internet. Are you kidding me?
Especially on the internet. All right. Well, enough of my story. I had to share that with you, Mike, because
that's okay.
I respect you and I consider you a great friend.
Thank
you.
You
we're going to go on to the next one.
It's okay. You know,
it was a mistake, Mike, and I'll live to regret it. But I know that I'm going to make peace with God when that day comes.
Of course, because Joe, that's the thing about. I mean, like other, I feel like we're doing like a talk show here because other podcasts, they just bring the same 5 people on and they just don't let people do anything. You know what I mean? I don't want to really have any guests on. You know what I mean? We don't need anybody.
I agree. This is great. I think. Listen, I enjoy this Sunday. I can't wait to Sundays and sit down with you.
I can't wait to keep coming up with stuff during the week.
You're doing great. Hey, I told everybody, he's the brains. He creates the shows, and I put the show together. That's what our roles are. You give me the idea, you email it to me, and I put it all together so we can present it.
That's how it's perfect like that because
perfect.
You know what I mean? And the thing is, I like thinking of things.
Yeah, you do.
To come up with, and it's not always easy.
What's his name? You are the guy that just got killed by his son and his wife. What's the guy from All in the Family? Rob Reiner. You're the Rob Reiner of our show. You're the brains behind it, and I'm the guy that just puts it all together.
You're the producer of this.
That's it. That's right. You're the guy that comes up with it, writes everything, and we put it together. And we're a good team together. So we're going to show a little bit now. I got we did I'm gonna take this one out. We already did Married to the Mob. We did both scenes there. And like I said, Michelle Pfeiffer is one of the most underrated actresses. She's played a lot of big roles, and it's another movie that if you haven't seen it, I recommend it highly. Married to the Mob. If you're into, you got most of these people in the Devils are comedy, and it brings a lot of comedy to it with a little fun about making fun of the mafia in a good way. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
We'll take this one out so I don't get confused here. And I hope everybody's enjoying our show because, we didn't want to do there's so many. That's the first thing Mike said to me was there's so many mob shows out there about bouncing on these mob guys and talking bad about them and just keep ripping them apart. And Mike goes, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the guy that finds something that all the good they might have did or the movies.
Well, at the end of the day, Joe, they were people. They definitely had their own mindset. That's
right. Sure. They did. And there were a lot of bad guys that were not nice guys that were stoned. I mean, there was a lot of guys that hurt a lot of people in the bad. I mean,
it's a shame because Joe, there were like Michael Francesi said. There were some guys who were serial killers like the Mayo.
Right. That's right.
Mad Sam Stefano was sociopaths.
Well, Michael has this is Michael's way of presenting it. He says there's gangsters, right? That's his thing. And he did a thing the other day about he separated gangsters and racketeers.
I watched it the other day. It was awesome.
Did you see that one? There's racketeers who he felt he went through the whole list from Al Capone down. What guy was a gangster? Al Capone was a gangster, not a racketeer. Not a racketeer. His father was a gangster, not a racketeer. No, his father was both. He determined that his father was both 50-50, racketeer and a gangster. Carlo Gambino, racketeer. Tony Accardo. And his point was, look at the guys who died as old men in their bed.
Absolutely.
Those were the racketeer guys.
But the thing is, Joe, racketeers still took people out young in their
career.
Did.
He even said that. There was time, but they used it as a last resort, and they made real money, and they put it into legitimate business. They were racketeer. He considered himself a racketeer.
But the gangsters some of them loved whacking people out. They really did.
But there was guys, like he said, that were just your button men that were just true gangsters. John Gotti, he said 110% loved to be a gangster. That's all he wanted to be, and was definitely a gangster, 100 and a very fierce one.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He gave many respects to John Gotti. He said I respect John. I had some deals with John. I have nothing but respect for John, which he was a real gangster. He just was a flashy gangster. He was of his era, the Benny Siegel of that era.
He would have been the Al Capone of the 2000s.
They were all flashy. They all wanted to be in the media and the limelight. They all did. All right, so let's watch. We watched the one scene from Mean Streets. Which we already watched. No, this is a different one. Here's another one.
All right.
Another
okay.
street.
Thanks a lot, Lord. Thanks a lot.
Oh, what's this?
I might have to stop this. I think I got it. When it plays the music, I can't play the music.
Well, we play by your rules, don't we?
Oh, it's just Crazy Joe?
No, this is Mean Street. See, I don't think I can't play this. I got to stop it. I got to stop it because I'll get struck for this. But, yeah, I don't even know why I put the scene in there because I can't. I don't even know how. There's not even a volume button on these things. I don't know how to. I haven't found that yet.
That's the thing.
I'm going to have to scrap that, Mike, because that will get me struck if I play
we got to be careful. I know.
Yeah, I got to be careful with that. That one will probably take me out. So we're not, that's a bad example. All right, so we're going to go to another movie. There's a guy that Mike knows a lot about, and he was very crazy. His name was Crazy Joe Gallo.
Oh God, yeah.
He was a one-man show. He went to prison and came out, and he hired all black gangsters.
You know what's crazy? He lived on President Street in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
down the street from my aunt where she grew up. And my aunt told me when I was younger, that neighborhood was the safest place in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
She said nobody ever got mugged.
Yep. That's
People
right.
were
That's true.
Taken care of.
That's
What do you call it? You know what's crazy? Let me tell you one quick thing about the Gallo crew, right?
Yep.
They were some of them were stone cold killers, but years ago, a really bad fire broke out in an apartment building in Brooklyn, like a 4-alarm fire.
Uh-huh.
Half the Gallo crew kicked the door down, went upstairs, went into the smoking fire, and rescued young kids and their mother out of the fire. They went in the house and took the kids out, right? And the mother to safety. And they were being interviewed.
Right.
And they go, we're not animals. We just have a different lifestyle. That's one of the gangsters said. We're not animals. We just have a different lifestyle. And we have families too. We weren't going to leave any kids in there like that.
Yeah. I agree. Like I said, there were guys that even some of the heavy hitters didn't want to be around. They were petrified of these guys because they had their Crazy Joe Gallo was. I mean, Gallo was one of the crazy, but the DeMeo guy, he was a surgeon when he was a serial killer. They said he was a legitimate serial killer.
Well, the thing is, people that I met over the years said with Crazy Joe, he wasn't really he didn't didn't chop people up like DeMeo and guys like that.
Yeah, DeMeo chopped him up, literally chopped him up.
But he had a hair trigger temper like Spilotro. He would definitely shoot you for being addicted.
I don't even remember anything of Spilotro being that crazy. He wasn't that psychotic.
No, right?
He dismantled bodies. He had body parts all over New York. They would find legs and arms and everything. This guy he chopped them up really good.
I think Spilotro, like I said, he was a gangster, dead gangster for darn sure, right? Yes. Because I think, but the thing is, he did how to make money also, though.
Right. Well, he was an earner, but see, Chicago is not quite as big as New York. They had the 5 families in New York. They had only 1 family in Chicago, but with Chicago, they had a lot of tough guys, but the guy that they trusted the most and he was the best was Tony Spilotro. He was this guy. He'll do anything. I mean, he got indicted a few times, the M&M murders, and I think he got fined. He didn't even get jail time. He got a fine or something. But he right before he got killed, he was coming up on some big indictments that they thought would have put him away this time.
Well, I heard he also kept his son out of it.
He did keep his son out of it. He did. But his son, it didn't do no good. His son lives in Vegas, and his mother, and I don't know if the mother, I don't know if she might still be alive. Or she might have just passed away last year or something. But she struggled all these years. The house was paid for. She's still living in the same house that Tony got her back when they first moved there. She was still in the same house, I believe. And her son became a drug addict really bad.
Wow.
He became a really burnt out drug addict, from what I understand. Not all up there. Not all up there. And I guess she ran into Frank Pallotta.
One of the Spilotro brothers was told legit. He was a dentist.
The dentist was the one. Michael, listen, you had Tony. You had Michael who was he was with his brother, but he wasn't told to right. Like he owned a restaurant called Hoagie's on North Avenue in Chicago. It was just outside the Chicago limits, and it was a very successful restaurant. And that was his. They say the night that they grabbed Spilotro, Tony, Michael was there, and so he became what they call expendable because he was with his brother when they grabbed his brother. And so I don't think so much he was supposed to be killed. He just was with his brother, and they had no choice. So
and the thing is, they took liberties with that, right? Because in the movie they beat him to death in
the movie they just showed him beating him at the cornfield. It was Bensenville, Illinois, which is right outside the airport, O'Hara, and they were beating up a maid guy, either a maid guy or associate guy that had a house out in Bensenville in the basement. They beat him and killed him there, bagged him up, and then the guy that was supposed to take him and bury him deep in the cornfield, he was fucked up on drugs. He was with this young girl. He dumped the bodies off, really shallow grave. 6 days later, 6 or 7 days later, it was discovered by the farmer, and they wind up whacking the guy that was supposed to dispose of the body.
Oh,
he got
definitely,
killed.
because that guy that screwed up definitely got a bullet in the back.
One thing I'll say about Tony Accardo, anything that could lead back to him, he took care of. He got rid of it, wiped out everybody. If there was a mistake anywhere, he had no. They made the mistake of robbing his house when he was on vacation.
Oh God, yeah.
And he sent word back, bring them to me. They found him, and they. I don't know the whole ins and outs of that, but he made such an example out of these two guys that no one would ever think about robbing his house again.
Well, because, something else too that's crazy years ago, right? The guys at the gallows had a war with Joseph Pavachi, who was the boss of the Colombo.
Yeah, Pavachi, yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was in the 50s or the 60s, some drug addicts stole gold from the church, and then the neighborhood church, right? Gold, relics and things that were worth thousands.
Yeah.
Pavachi sent his crew out to get this stuff back.
Yeah.
Right, and the guys who took it were taken out, I heard. I wouldn't doubt it, really, right?
Yeah. Mike, we got a choice here, because I don't know how much. I try to want to keep it at a 2-hour show. We could go longer if you want, but we're at 8:15, and
you know what, Joe? I'm starving. Can we go to 8:30?
But I'm saying, do you want to just go into you're talking about the guys that were in the military? You want to just cut this down with the movies?
What do you want to do?
No, I want whatever you want. I know you wanted to give these honor to these guys, so I was going to give you the floor and let you talk about each of these guys.
Okay,
I did send Michael a message. I didn't know, because he's my friend. I didn't know if he wanted me to bring up that about his father. I never heard him mention that in any of his shows about his dad being. So because of what they labeled him as, I wanted to get Michael's permission out of friendship to him, and he didn't get back to me yet, or if he did, or I don't know.
I won't even mention him. No worries.
So I think it's just we don't mention his father, because I'd rather have his blessing on that, because he is a good friend. I've known him over 20 years, and I don't want to say something that he would get mad about. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I got my list. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I got the list right here too. So Mike's going to talk about. So that concludes. So the other two movies was the Joe Gallo movie. I'll keep this in here. We'll start off next week with just to show you that Gallo movie, and then we'll go into the new stuff next week. So we'll keep that in here.
Absolutely,
and we'll continue that next week. But what we showed you so far, I recommend all those movies. Once Upon a Time America, Married to the Mob, Mean Street. We showed you, and those are great movies. And I believe and there was 2 of them we didn't show you. We'll show them next week. It'll take about 20 minutes, and then we'll go into our episode next week. But Mike, this is important to Mike. I'll just give a real background so Mike can talk. There's about 10 guys that Mike found that were heavy hitters in the mafia, throughout the mafia, who actually were military men in different wars. And he's going to talk about that now. So go ahead, Mike.
Some of them were war heroes, and some were in peacetime, but they still all served our country, right? Dominic Montiglio, he was part of the Roy DeMeo crew.
Right.
His uncle was Nino Ganji, right?
Nino Ganji, another crazy guy.
Dominic grew up in the mob. He had no choice, really, because his dad deserted. Nino Ganji didn't like his father.
Right.
And it didn't kill him, it made him leave.
Right.
And then he grew up around that. And Dominic originally wanted to be a musician, right? And Nino told him it's a dirty business. He tried to help him with it. So he went in the military, right? And Dominic was a war hero. He was special forces in Vietnam.
Vietnam, that's right.
And a sniper on top of it. You know what I mean? So Dominic was no joke. He recently passed away. Right.
And being with that training that he had in Vietnam is probably what made him such a successful hitman as well.
Oh, definitely. He didn't bother him.
Yeah. He had the stomach for it. Nothing bothered him.
He could do it. He said after a while it was like second nature to him. He didn't even care.
Yeah, because I gotta believe. I mean, it's not. It's well known that every guy that becomes a big guy, they had to do some type of piece of work at some point in their life.
Oh, definitely, because
there's no doubt in my mind. But some of those guys, they didn't like it, but they had no choice. But some of those guys couldn't stomach that. They admitted they weren't killers, you know. And
no, because
in other areas.
Dominic was kind of pushed into the life by his family. You know what I mean? And rest in peace. Because
rest in peace. God bless you. Thank you for serving our country.
The next guy, Joe Colombo, was a World War II vet.
One of my favorite guys, Joe Colombo.
Right, enlisted in the U.S. Navy. Right, was a combat vet in the Middle East in Africa.
He actually went to. He actually was in. He actually participated.
He was
behind
definitely
the
in some
battle.
heavy duty stuff.
Yeah.
He was, what do you call it, in the Middle East and Africa. What do you call it? And he was a World War II Navy vet.
He was a Navy guy. That's right. That's right. What the notes say here. Now, would you label Joe Colombo? He was a pretty intelligent boss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he knew how to he knew how to play the war field because of his training in World War II.
He wanted to start the Italian American Civil Rights
Which
League,
he became successful. But the day he got killed, there was over 60,000 people rallying at that event.
Joe, he had a lot of people think he died that day. He was paralyzed for 7 years after that. He died
stayed alive
later.
many years in a coma before he passed.
It's just a shame because rest in peace, Joe.
And we know who cooked him out. We know who ordered that hit.
Oh, Crazy Joe, I think.
Crazy Joe did it because he had one of his African American gangsters do it. You know.
Definitely because our next guy, Joe.
Yeah.
Vito, a.k.a. Tutti Vario. He was in Goodfellas.
Oh, is that Paul Vario?
His brother.
His brother, okay.
He was a combat vet in the Korean conflict. What do you call it? He lost his leg in combat.
So he was a mobster without a leg.
Yeah, he limped. You know what I mean, right? Like they fixed his leg, but he limped.
That's amazing.
Next guy, right? Gene Barone.
Gene Barone. I hear that Barone name in a lot of the Barone name was used in the Sopranos. That last name.
Well, he was a World War II combat vet. He was a Marine. Let's see, heavy duty action.
Marine, frontliner.
He definitely was a Marine. Barone was a Marine during World War II.
That's amazing.
He's seen heavy duty action in Iwo Jima when it raised the flag.
That's amazing.
What do you call it? Johnny Rosselli was the guy from the outfit.
Johnny Rosselli, yeah.
Right. He, what do you call it? He was a World War II vet. Sadly, Joe, he got kicked out for extortion.
For extortion while he was in the military.
In the Army.
In the Army, where he's in the Army.
Oh, here's the guy we were talking about earlier. And this is crazy. This is going to relate to so much stuff right now. Albert Anastasia.
Albert Anastasia was a crazy man. Now I understand why. Go ahead and tell him about where he was.
Was a World War II sergeant. He got promoted to sergeant. He was such a good, candidate in the military. Listen to this. The government loved him so much, they gave him American citizenship.
Wow.
That's so now, how crazy is this, right? People fighting about ISIS and all this stuff now. Anastasia was a known criminal, and the government gave him citizenship.
That's amazing. You know who else became a citizen? Joe Bonanno, and was very proud of it. Very proud of it.
How crazy is that they let him become, and they knew what he was, and they made him a citizen.
He was very proud to become an American citizen. He lived for that.
Oh, definitely, because what do you call it? They definitely let them, get. They definitely, what do you call it?
Why do you think they ran Joe Bonanno? I think it was more they were that scared of him. They said the Bonanno family at one time was the most powerful crime family out on the fine place. Yeah, he ran a tip-top shape.
Oh, definitely, because our next guy, Joe, what do you call it? Sammy the Bull was in the Army.
Yeah, this I knew. I knew about this one.
He enlisted 3 years. Got an honorable discharge. He was a corporal and a cook. How crazy is that? Imagine Sammy
corporal and a cook. And if you listen to his big interview after he went in the witness protection program, he said he blamed the government for making him go to the mafia and become a hitman. He said the government trained him to be a killer. That's what his claim to fame was.
Our next guy, Henry Hill, was in the Army, volunteered, right, for 3 years.
Now, this is a funny story, though, what happened to Henry. You got a little funny humor behind this one.
He got kicked out for, what do you call it, for extortion, a loan shark, and he stole a local sheriff's car.
Henry Hill. Now imagine it. Here's the guy that was not all upstairs, was playing with fire most of his life, ratted on the mob. He got arrested for loan sharking, stealing the local sheriff's car, spent too much in the brig, and the Army kicked his ass out.
Unbelievable. And the last
That's a story by itself right there. Now, those are very good finds that you found. I got one guy I want to show who wasn't a gangster, but he was very much Italian, and he was dear to my heart. And I want to share this with people. And I've shared it a little bit, but I want people to know this. This was a great man, and this was Leo Bruno, my grandfather.
Oh, nice.
Now, Tony Bruno was my great-grandfather, and it says Tony Bruno's son wins the silver. My grandfather won the Silver Star for saving men in the Army in World War II.
Whoa, Joe, any relation to Angelo Bruno, you think?
I don't know. You talk about Angelo Bruno, the mob boss from Cleveland?
And in Philly.
In Philly, I mean, yeah, I never could establish if it was the same Brunos. I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Well,
I can tell you
God
this.
bless you, Graham.
He won the Silver Star. If you read this article, he was a good man. He died when I was 8 years old. He had a heart attack in front of me in 1974. He died May 3rd, 1974. I'll never forget it.
I love how he looks because he looks like my grandfather, right?
From crawling to a burning half track under enemy fire and pulled 4 of his buddies out of a safe area during the Battle of the Ruhr PFC. Leo Bruno, Company A59 Doughboy from Chicago, was awarded the Silver Star. The actions for which Bruno was cited was for the nation's 3rd highest award for gallantry occurred on April 13th. This is when it happened at a point near Kemper, Germany. Bruno was in a cover position with enemy guns scored directly hit on the 59th half track. Acting on his own initiative, he wormed his way into the burned side vehicle. They were burning up. They were dying, burnt to death, while Nazi machine gun fire opened up on him from position 100 yards away. My grandfather didn't care. The machine guns 100 yards away were trying to take him out, and he rescued and saved all 4 of those people burning.
Unbelievable, because
this is my mother's father. This is my mother's father.
Joe, the thing is, I'm taking a good look at him. Joe, look how Italian looking he looks, because that's how my grandfather's family is, because you know why? They had beautiful olive skin. They were really
he was very dark complected, my grandpa. My great-grandfather, Tony Bruno, didn't speak a drop of English. Came over here from Italy.
Joe, the thing is, look how their features look.
He was a tall man. He was 6'3", my grandfather.
Joe, both of us don't even look Italian next to them.
Yeah. You know where they first landed when they came over here? They went to New Orleans. I can never understand. I never found out why. My great-grandfather landed in New Orleans, and then they went to Chicago. But they came off the boat in New Orleans.
Well, I'd say my family came to New York, but I don't know why.
They went to New Orleans and then wound up in Chicago. He was a great man.
Joe, the thing is,
great man.
Both of us look like Casper the Ghost next to our relatives.
Yeah, my grandfather was very olive skinned, but he married a battle axe troll. My grandmother was not a nice lady. Oh,
no, I'm sorry.
She was not a nice lady. She did not like me, and she was very mean to me. So I got to say, he was the one that he used to pay me to hide his booze bottle. He was when he knew he was dying. He died of he had Lou Gehrig's disease. My grandpa had a very different muscle disease, which he wound up having a massive heart attack. He worked 40 years hard for the city of Chicago. He worked in sanitation. He in the old days, he used to chuck those metal garbage cans in the back of the garbage truck, and he did that for 40 years. Okay. Wow. And the man was a good grandfather. He was just the best. And my grandmother, when he just wanted to die in peace, and she would pour his liquor down the sink because he liked to have a little drink after work. And I would hide his bottle for him, and he'd pay me to do that.
Well, because my grandfather died when I was 11. He was first generation American himself, right?
I miss him a lot, Mike. I miss him a lot. I really do.
And he looked like a lot of fond memories of him. You know why? Super dark and olive skin. He had beautiful skin.
Yes, he did. Let's make sure we got no super chats and super chat. Guys weren't really, guys didn't I don't know if they liked the show today, Mike. I don't know. We didn't have a lot of people here today. I don't know. Maybe
you know what?
Sometimes that's okay.
We're going to build.
We have some in the audience. 1, 2, 3, 20, 100. To me, it's all the same. We got to still put on the best show, and I think we're doing it. Finally,
next week we'll get them. Don't even worry.
We're gonna get you guys. I know they rave about it. We get good comments about the show. I do want to show one guy real quick. This is a guy that just, and we're gonna end it, Mike, in about 5 minutes. This is a guy that he lives in Florida now. He was a captain in the Bonanno family. I've been watching a little bit about him. He invented a crypto coin. He's being accused of still being a scammer. This guy. I believe he's sincere. He went back to Brooklyn. Not a lot of guys that became informants could go back to where they were. This was the day he was in Brooklyn. He went home with a church group that he's part of, and they did a big event in his neighborhood. And he went back to his neighborhood where he was raised with his grandmother and his mother. And then when the grandmother sold the building, his great grandmother, he was forced to move into the towers in Brooklyn that were like the slum part of where he grew up. And And he's a big man. This guy's a big man. This guy's a monster. He was strong, and he was a captain in the Bonanno family. His name is Dominic Ciccelli, and I like the guy, and I believe the man. He's really changed his life.
I've seen him in interviews. I like him.
He's got a podcast right now, a pretty good podcast. But right now, everybody's attacking him. All the trolls are calling him, "You're a scam artist, did crypto thing. We thought you were a millionaire." And he says, "Listen, I am, but everything is, cash part right now. He's low on cash, but he's got plenty of, stuff invested in. And but he's sincere to me. I mean, this guy I like this guy a lot. And I wish I could talk with him and tell him, these trolls are just, he knows but he's got a temper. He's afraid. He's so worried about. He was making a comment. He goes, "Oh God, please!" He prays to God, "Don't let me turn back to the man I used to be," because he's very open about the people that he killed. Because he had immunity from it. Everything he did go into witness. He put a lot of people away, and he says to everybody, "I'm a rat. I'm a scumbag. I'm no good. I dimed out all my oath. So yes, I deserve to be called on that." But I'm not being phony here, and I'm not trying to hurt any of my people that are with me. And I'm sincere. I've changed my life. And the people that don't believe him are really attacking him and his family now. And, one guy, this guy, Jeff Narda, who Narda, who does a show on all these guys? He put his real address out on the internet the other day, and there's a contract on him right now. There's a $75,000 contract. They want to kill him for being a witness. So now he put his address out there. His real address.
Well,
he's got concerns now because now he's saying, and he called the FBI. He called where the witness protection program was in. He said, "Listen to me. I've changed my whole life. But if they come to honor that contract because of what Jeff Nardi did, I promise you it's not going to be me if they come to my house. There's going to be some bodies. I'm letting you know now. If they come in my house, I'm killing them."
Well,
you know what they told him? You have the right to protect yourself. But he's a convicted felon, so he can't carry a gun. He can't have guns. But he's a strong man. He's a big man. So I want to show you his thing. And this is that's not the one. Here it is, right here. Is that it? No, that's not it. Let me see. Hang on, I got to get rid of this one. Hang on. Where did it go now? I got to add it to scene. All right, let me close this one out. Why ain't this one leaving? I got to get this one out of here. All right. Why did something happen here? Where's the button? I can't find the button. What happened to it? Oh boy. Oh, I got to take this one out. I don't know how to do this. All right. Wait a minute. Here it is. It's right here. I think it's right here. I'm sorry. I got it right here. So here we go. Okay, that one goes. That one's out. Now this one is what? Oh, that one goes out. So I get rid of those. Let me just get rid of those so I don't get confused. So take that one out. I take that one out. And then this is it really. This is his podcast just 2 days ago. God bless it. Why is it still doing that? Oh, no wonder. I didn't add it. That's what I did. Okay. My fault. That was my fault. Sorry, guys. I get confused sometimes myself.
That's okay.
I'm sharing it. So where did it go? So it had to have gone here. So I'm going to assume it went right here. Let's see. I'm in the right place. Where did it go? I don't know. I shared it. Did I not share it right? Let me see if I got to stop sharing it and do it again. Let me see if I do this. Yeah. I know why. It's down here at the bottom and I got to add it. That's what I didn't do right.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I know what I did wrong. Okay. So which one is this one? I got to go back to, it's called the Genovese. It's under the Genovese. Oh, there it is right there. I go here. Now it's down here at the bottom. I forgot that. There it is right there. Here we go. Bring it up to the scene. And let me just close this down. So this is Dominic. I think it's pronounced Ciccelli. And I feel for this guy because he admits when people call him a scumbag and a rat, he accepts that because he is. He said he broke the oath. That's exactly what he is. He don't try to be nothing he's not, but he's made a whole new leaf in his life. And here's a little bit of his podcast that there is a contract out of him. He knows this.
Welcome back to another live edition of Dom Ciccelli Mafia Roundtable. Hope everybody's having a great day. We are getting ready for our event tomorrow. It's a Christian event. We're doing a Christian rap event. Yes, for a church, and it's going to be a big event.
He's back in Brooklyn. Let me go back to where we go to his neighborhood.
Okay.
It's coming. Here it is. There he is. This is him in Brooklyn.
You've been alone for your business. Well,
I just want to
it's
show you
been
this, and then
around
we're going to wrap it
for
up.
over a year. I'm about to show you.
No wonder there's a contract on him. He went back home
here and then go back.
So let's get to
myself in the Bronx this summer.
The past summer did.
We're here in the Pelham Bay section of the Bronx. This is where I first lived. I was about 3 years old, Roberts Avenue. This used to be my great-grandmother's house. And to show you how Italians are, my grandparents and great-grandmother lived on the first floor. Downstairs was the basement. Upstairs, my mother and I lived up there. And you know what? I remember one of my memories in this house was my father when he had a furlough. He came home from jail. And I came running down the stairs. And he was on a motorcycle. He had his Triumph. And I just went running as a kid. And I touched the pipes.
He did.
And I burnt my hands.
Wow.
And, you know, I remember screaming in a lot of pain. But there was a lot of fond memories of this house with my grandfather. Every time I would go downstairs, we'd watch The Rifleman and then Lost in Space. And, you know, he was a really good guy, my grandmother. And my great-grandmother was living in Florida, so she would come back up. Summertime, she would stay here and then go back down. But then when she sold the house, she was spiteful. She was one of those, like, evil people. And she wouldn't sell it to my grandfather and grandmother, which was her daughter. So we wound up moving over there, Hazel Towers, that building. So if you want to walk up, we could come right here to the corner, take a shot, look, and then we could walk around the block. But these were memories. That's probably the original garage door down there. This fence, there was no fence here. Used to just walk right up. And we had the backyard.
He's got
and I
bodybuilding.
remember
Strong, man.
in the wintertime with the snow, we'd go in the backyard,
He was a
hang
captain
out,
in the Bonanno family.
play as a kid. These houses weren't even here.
I think, Joe, was he the gangster around here, you think?
Now,
He was,
folks,
he was a gangster.
yes,
he
and I
was
do
definitely a
remember my
gangster.
great-grandmother.
But
She
he was
only
also,
spoke Italian.
he probably was
That
a little
it.
both because
But
he
I
made
remember
money.
when I was in
He was a good
Florida,
earner.
at her house.
But
She lived in Fort Lauderdale,
he's telling you,
Johnson
you need to go
Street.
right back to the neighborhood now.
Because I've seen him before, Joe. I love his podcast.
And there used to
Yeah.
be
He
a
definitely
basketball.
took
None of
people
these
out.
cars were here.
Yeah,
There used to be a basketball
it's
court
only
here.
about
We used to
3 or
play
4
ball
minutes.
all the time.
He's telling you.
And as I
this was
got
the-
older,
didn't have
I'd be
fences.
able to dunk. So everybody would get mad because I would bend the rim, so I would
Yeah.
hang on it. But over here in this back, we would play stickball up against the wall, pitching. And that whole wall that's painted for the bicentennial year, 1976.
A lot of places had that.
It was all painted with a flag,
Oh, I remember
with
that.
the big eagle, all red, white, and blue. That was bicentennial for the 4th of July. Great time. There would be burnt out cars they would put here. Back here, they would have the burnt out cars, and we would play on them. We'd play baseball in this parking lot. There was all broken glass back in the day. It was a neighborhood. It was a neighborhood. We loved it. We'd play stickball in the summertime. The Johnny Pump would be running all
Johnny
summer.
Pump.
We'd go
Johnny
there,
Pump.
drink
Is that
from
the
the
fire hydrant?
Johnny Pump. And this was it. This was the neighborhood. And then once a year, we would have the feast. The feast would come here. And all the tents and everything. And over here by the basketball court, they would actually cut down the pole and put the gambling tent here.
where he
And
started
that's
in
where I
life.
was with Big Mongo in the gambling tent. I was basically like his errand boy. Same thing they had in Bronx Tales, where Colosio was going in, getting everybody drinks, getting everybody food, getting the tips. Same thing here in the gambling tent. So we'll go walk around the building. We could go over everything we used to do. But this used to be, we used to call this the powerhouse. So when we say we're playing stickball or we're going to play hardball, basketball, hey, where you guys going? We're going to the powerhouse. So everybody would come here. And you would have anywhere from 15 to 25 kids, ranging anywhere from 7 years old to 15-year-old. And the games we would have here would just be, it was a great time back then. Now, you could see they took that all away. And that's what we're losing nowadays, is the community.
That's right.
Is kids interacting, where it's gone. It's gone.
No kids interact right no more like those days.
Now,
Nobody does.
I'm going to forward this to show you guys something. So we'll go walk around the building. We could go. Okay, you see this fence over here? Let me back it up a little bit. This fence right here behind me. This fence, and then there was another one right around here. They came up a chain link fence like this. I didn't like it. I was extremely upset that they put the fence there because that took away from us playing baseball, just interacting. Now they put up a fence. It's like they're confining us for really, it was for no reason. One night, 16 years old, I took my car and I took down the whole fence, the entire fence. I just kept on. It was about 1, 2 in the morning. The whole fence was down. It went to sections. I parked the car in the front of the building, went upstairs. I did have a few drinks in me, so the alcohol.
You didn't care really, right?
All of a sudden, my mother comes smashing in my room.
I like this guy.
What did you do?
At least he's honest.
What are you talking about?
Right.
Look at your car.
His mother comes down with my car wrecked. He goes, what happened to my car?
I went downstairs to check out my car.
He's a good guy, but I just wanted to show you. I thought it was.
The whole side
was
of the
getting a bad
fender
way.
was up in the air.
You know what he did this Thanksgiving? Do you know what he did this Thanksgiving? He orchestrated. He invited 100 of people of his fan base, and he had Thanksgiving with 100 of his people from his chat room.
Well, Joe, you know what's crazy about that, right? Invited 100 strangers. God forbid somebody wanted to pop him.
Right, and there is a he knows he knows there's still a contract out on his head. He knows this. And
Joe,
this guy Nardi,
how crazy is that? Invited 100 strangers to your house, and any one of them could have shot, stabbed, or garroted you. You know what I mean?
Here's a guy. Yes, he knows what he did, but you know what he said? The life changed. They weren't protecting guys no more. They were letting guys go away for life, and he wasn't going to do life for other guys that were piece of shits. So he became a rat informant, and he does his time. He did some hard time, and he got out and he changed his whole life. And he's involved with church. He started a company. It's called Crypto Nostra. Is his coin. Now a couple weeks ago he got hacked. The whole system in the crypto coin got hacked, and someone was taking wallets. They were stealing some of his people's wallets. So he knows they found out who did it. It's all being investigated. He lost some money, but he said, "Don't worry, I'm going to pay back everybody's. I'm putting all the money back tomorrow to everybody's account that was jeopardized." He goes, "So my guaranteed what I told you that this is on the up and up, and still people are going after him now." And he says, "For all you people that want to call me a rat, I accept that. But I'm not. I built this company to be legit, and I'm not stealing from you guys. And whoever believes," and he goes, and the people that turned on me, it's wrong because here it is. People is what people do. The classic thing. It's Karmic's the classic guy in the people go feed him lies. He starts believing it. He turns on everybody that was good to him. This is what they're doing to him now. He's getting a taste of that.
Wow.
Now, when I had the trolls hit me the hardest real quick, Michael Francese, they wrote Michael Francese. He was going to be a big guest on my show about a year and a half ago, and they got him not to be on my show.
Well,
Michael called me on a Sunday morning. He says, "I don't know what kind of drama you're into. I don't need this headache." He goes, "So I blocked them. They sent me some pretty horrendous stuff they're saying about you. He sent me everything." He goes, "I told you. I've helped you a lot. I've talked about you in my community. I've got people over there to be subscriber." He's about, "I don't need this drama in my life. Fix your problems and keep the trolls away from me because I don't put up with that stuff." And they fucking succeeded. The only time they succeeded getting Michael. And you know what? He goes, "And the reason I told the guy I don't know you," he says, "because they don't need to know that I know you." And he kind of told me in a nice way is, "You should never tell anybody who you fucking know."
I know.
And since then, I talk regularly, and he sees the success I'm doing, and he's happy that I'm dealing with it better. He didn't like me doing what I was doing anyhow in the Davos, the way I became an animal and I was swearing and fighting, whatever. He don't like that stuff. He's not like that. You know, he's a classy guy that's very religious, and he does meaningful stuff that helps people. So I kind of embarrass myself with that. But, you know, he sees that my campaign is serious, and he joined up for my one thing, and he's with me on that one thing. But we're going to talk. And when I go out to California, I'm going to be having dinner with him. I'm going to see a couple people in California. I got to start making I got to be going out to the West Coast, and then I got to go out to, I got to go to New York too. I have to go there to talk with.
Nice.
So I'm going to be making the rounds, and I got a lot of trips. So I got to get this all together, and because I got a lot of signatures I got to get. So I got to get some people that can believe in me to help me support this. At least, listen, I'm not asking nobody to vote for me. I'm asking people to give me the opportunity to prove myself by getting me on the ballot. That's all I want. We're going to conclude this. Mike, you want to say anything out?
Thank you, everybody that's been helping us, and it's only going to be better. things take time to build. You know, and we don't want to rush this because
Right.
first of all, it takes time. It just has to catch fire, and we know we're going to catch fire. I don't
Right.
doubt it.
And I know you got a lot of fans that love you, Mike. The people are always saying nice things about you, and you know,
Thank you,
and,
Joe.
and the people that are in my corner, they know that this is a good show, and they love to see me and you interact. This is the most thing I get.
It's
You
fun.
and Mike are
because,
great together.
Joe, I can't wait to start writing Nick.
I
I'm
can't wait
going
either.
to give you a text talking tomorrow and tell you.
Okay,
I'd
buddy.
like to work
You go
on
enjoy
this.
your dinner. You say hello to your mother for me. You
I
tell
will.
everybody God
Thank
bless.
You, Joe, because
I
that's
love
the
you.
thing, because before we put anything out there, we're a team, 50-50,
That's right. That's right.
I want to get your feedback on some, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Before we do
Same
anything.
thing. Anything I could do or anything you'd like me to change, I'm all
I
ears.
love how you let me write and you produce.
Oh, of course.
It's awesome.
I have to do that. That's where you're clear. But I want to give a big thanks again tonight to Kevin Brennan for him
Oh, thank you, Kevin.
signing off and blessing us for this. None of this would have happened if he chose to tell you not to get in camp with me. It would have never happened. So I want to give a big thank you to Kevin Brennan.
Thank you, Kevin is right.
Really do. I want to thank him again for being kind to me lately and saying nice things about me. And I'm glad that I'm in a good place with Kevin Brennan. So everybody, thank you. We'll see
Thank
you.
you, everybody. We'll see you next Sunday. Right?
And have a
6:30 p.m.
great Sunday. And if you're out drinking, don't drive. Call Uber. Take care, everybody.
Absolutely. Have a great night, Joe. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, buddy. Talk to you.